Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcel. I want to welcome you to today's event, which is the Thursday Power Gym. I hope you find this to be educational as well as entertaining. As I said, my name is Marcel. I'm considered to be the data concierge here at Probate Data. Uh, I handle these 30-minute walkthroughs of our lead generation system, which is Probate Data. Every Thursday, our Power Gym starts here, which is our Probate Data YouTube channel. And the URL is as such, youtube.com/probate data. Once here, there's a subscribe button over to the right. It's our strong suggestion that you click on that subscribe button so that any content that's uploaded you don't miss out on. Okay, so again, the URL is youtube.com/probate data. Let's go ahead and click into probate data itself. Today we're going to go over a basic 3-month 3-market search. We're going to speak about the probate timeline and what are the best approaches and circumstances to approach these petitioners at, and the various ways that you could do that in these interims. So while you're here at Probate Data, you have some tabs here. You have a home tab, about, services, probate opportunity, sign up, contact us, and log in. Today we're just going to click on login, and then we'll get right in, and that way we can get through what we need to get through. If at any time you do forget your password or login information, just click on this little blue link right here. It'll prompt you for some information, and then we'll fix your password for you so you can get logged in. Once you do log in, this is where you'll be, right here at the overview video of the entire site. Right below is where you're at currently. The link for this only had today's webinar on it. As of tomorrow, we should have updated webinars going through the end of July, I believe. Also on the top, you have a couple different tabs: an account tab, new home, new search, search list. Probate Data will house every search you do on the site under the search list. Alerts, that's going to allow you to work in real time, where you can set some criteria, and according to that criteria, you'll have your files come up instantly for you. Then you have contact us, which gets you to customer support for Probate Data, my account, where you're allowed to change your password and login information, and then finally log out. We're just going to go ahead and click on a new search so we can get into the 3-month 3-market aspect of today's webinar. Once here, you'll have a state map. You're going to want to go under the state that you're going to be prospecting under. We do not pigeonhole you to that particular state. You're available to see any and all information in Probate Data. It's not until you physically try to export something out of the system itself will you be charged for an export. So again, we have 12 different states here. We're going to click into California today for today's demonstrations with the search engines. Like I said earlier, every search you'll ever do will be housed here in Probate Data under your search list. So it is pretty important for every search you do to have some type of description. So let's say, for instance, I did a search. I found $1 million property in that search. I exported the file out, put it somewhere, someone threw it away. I got to be able to know where that search was for me to get back to find that property or that particular lead. So as I said, I'm gonna do California because there's a line item in California that is specific to California and Nevada only. But the search works the same way for any state. So if you're in Florida, you could do the 3-month search there in Florida, Texas, Nevada, wherever you might be, and it'll work the same way. So we're going to do a 3-month 3-market search. And we're just going to do today's date, 26th, and go back 3 months. And we'll do the 26th of this also. And let's go ahead and pick San Francisco. Now, the reason we do just an overall date range is because, first of all, we want to see how many files you get out of a particular county in a 3-month range. So basically, monthly you'll be able to see. So we got 82 cases in San Francisco in the last 3 months. Okay, the 16th, the last petition we had filed was 10 days ago. Okay, so newly petitioned. Now to go over the 3 months and the 3 markets, we'll start with this one. So newly petitioned PRs is going to be the first market, and it's our strongest suggestion that for market number one, you utilize out of your marketing information from MTI Education, something like this, a sample letter for realtors reaching out to the PR. You could do a mail merge with this and the Excel sheet and send out 100 letters within a matter of minutes. Okay, so you'll see from this one specifically, I formatted it to become more of a condolence letter, asking about the property that might be for sale. Now, you could do emails of this same letter, soliciting yourself to the attorneys, or you could do labels. There's a lot of different facets you can use the mail merge for. But again, this letter, I've fashioned it to make it a condolence letter. And then on the back side of this, I got this guy. Boom. Okay. Now, this is a California probate process timeline. And literally, this will be the back of my letter with the little handwritten note that says, "Do you know what this is? Call me. I'll explain it." And I'll put my phone number or my email address. Okay. Because they're not going to understand what the probate timeline is. They just say date of death, 16 competent probate attorney. What is all that? Okay. So something that elicits a little bit of an educational hook for them to want to call you back to really see, hey, John, what is this? Hey, Pearl, what did you send me? And then we'll explain this a little better. Okay. Also, that's going to be market number one. So newly petitioned representatives, market one. Now, from the date filed, I could sort. And now I'm going to February 26th, which puts me 3 months out. Now, these people already should have letters of administration, which means at this point you should be able to have your listing contract in hand. These petitioners will be able to sign that contract immediately if they have letters of administration. They're ready to start to close escrow on a property, but they physically can't until they get letters testamentary. Okay, so those are the two big obstacles. Letters of administration you can get within 2 months. Let's pull up the other timeline. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, letters of administration, 2 to 4 months. Okay, if not contested. So in that 2 to 4 month period, which this is well in there, we're asking about letters of administration. The grieving process is a little less here because it's been 3 months. You already have bills coming in from creditors. So it's a little bit more upfront as far as asking if they have a listing agent. And again, we want to have our contract in hand in case they don't. We talk to them about our CPRES designation and what that means, and then we go into marketing ourselves for the transaction. Okay, and that's market number two. Let's see. Now on these ones, again, our suggestion is a door knock for these people because we want to be a little bit more upfront. We don't really have time to wait for the letter to go through the mail unless we don't really have time. We just want to knock that door. Okay, market number three is going to be everybody in the middle. So yeah, April, end of April. And for market number three, our suggestion is whatever worked best. If market one worked best for you and you found that you got a lot of calls back off of your letter, then stick that letter in these people's mailbox and see if you get some replies from them. If you were tapping doors in market two and you found that everybody you talked to seemed to smile, they found you friendly, they wanted to engage with you, then continue doing that because that's what's selling it. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We just want to do what's going to work best for us, right? So let's keep that going. Speaking again to this probate timeline, okay? So we were speaking about the letters of administration. Okay, and within 2 to 4 months is when they're able to sign your listing agreement. Okay, but let's see. And we don't even show where they get letters at. But when they get letters of letters testamentary, boom, here it is here. And that's usually at the end of that 4 to 6 months, really. That's when you can physically close escrow and be able to go. But in all these different follow-ups, we should be touching at least 12 touches per each petitioner. So market 1 to 2 months, I'm going to send them that letter with the educational hook on the background. In 2 to 3 months, I'm going to tap that door. I'm going to send a follow-up letter after I tap the door. If I made contact, two, if I didn't make contact, it doesn't really matter. I'm still sending a follow-up. Now, off of that follow-up letter, now I'm doing a follow-up call 2 to 4 months in just to see where we're at. I'm going to ask some discovery questions like, what did you have in mind for the property? Do you have any idea about landlording if you were looking into that? I can offer to maintain the property if I have property management skills. There's a lot of different ways to utilize the files and to be able to speak to these petitioners. I'm always going back, and the one question that I really want to get across to the petitioner is one open-ended question. It's very simple. Whether I have them on the phone or we're eye to eye, once they feel a little comfortable with me, I'm going to ask them, to the best of your knowledge, what all is attached to this estate. And they're going to tell you about the personal property, the personal quirks of the person that passed away. They're going to tell you about all the property, real and other. So that one open-ended question really gets you in the area of being able to lock down properties, vehicles, estate inventory, whatever it is you're looking to utilize from these files specifically. Okay. Now, the one thing I do want to show you guys in the searches, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start looking at some of these files. Okay. So I said earlier that we don't charge you for looking at information. We could literally go through all 80 something of these cases, case by case, just to see and cherry pick exactly what we want. Okay. But here's the particulars. You get the case number, the address of deceased at the time of passing, which is usually going to be the property that's going to be for sale, the name of the decedent, the date of passing, the courthouse this came out of and when this was filed. You'll have your petitioner information, most of the time with the phone number, address, your role as far as administrator or executor, authority type, bond type, and their relationship to the decedent. We'll give you the attorney information also with the phone number and email address. And then you'll have up to 12 beneficiaries if they list them on the probate petition. This one only lists one. And I'm able to go ahead and look at all of this information without being charged exports. So I can physically go down and cherry pick exactly what I want. I'm sorry, and I failed to mention that on top of this, and this is why we show California, if you're in Texas, you're not going to have a lot of property values at all because as I was demonstrating with that line item on our search engine, property value is written into our petition here in California and Nevada. It's listed as a gross fair market value for real property. So anytime a petitioner or a lawyer inputs an amount in that, that's going to be for the real property that's going to be available. Also, we list encumbrances. So you'll remember from your education that's monies that the estate owes to creditors. And lastly, we run this through a third-party Zillow so that you can get the Zillow estate value as well as the home particulars if they give them. This one says it was built in 1980, 510 square feet. Okay, so we try to give you as much information for you to be as educated about the case as possible. Okay, so again, you have all this information and you can go down. It's not until we physically put a check mark in one of these boxes and hit export. Now we're going to export a file. And here comes our export approval box. Now, the export approval box tells you a couple of cool things here. First, it tells you how many total downloads you're allowed in a month's time, how many downloads you've had previously this period, and lastly, how many downloads you're about to take out right now. You'll notice we give you two file types as far as the outputs, an Excel sheet and a PDF. It's our belief here at Probate Data that a lot of good realtors will use the Excel sheet to do the mail merges, to utilize in their CRMs, dialers. The Excel sheet is great for all of those, and a good realtor will utilize that. We also feel that a good realtor will utilize this PDF as a one-off to be read in the car as we're approaching the house that we're about to door knock and prospect to. Okay? But we also know that great realtors do both. So that's why we give you both output types and we don't charge you double. Okay? We want to make sure you have all the information in the fashion that you need it to make it do what you need to do. Okay? So we'll give you the Excel sheet and this one here, the PDF. And it's the same thing, okay? The PDF has all that information we were just looking at on the website. The Excel sheet's the same thing. If you get these little hash marks in there, all you have to do is widen the cells up, just like I did right here. And there's your values right there, okay? And there's all the information, okay? Now, one thing I do want to show you is a targeted search. I'm going to go over one targeted search with you. And then I'm going to show you how to do an extra targeted search. So we left off with a 3-month 3-market search. We'll still utilize that time frame, going with 3 months. So let's do today's date, 26th. 26. Now we had something like 86 files. Now if we did Los Angeles like that, let's do that. The output is going to be considerably different. So San Francisco, it's a great town, but it's a little small compared to the metropolis that downtown Los Angeles is. So we just did the same date range for downtown LA. And even though I think we're like 10 days out in downtown LA, there's probably going to be closer to 600-700 files there available for us to look through. Now, if you're in a bigger situation like that, I'm going to show you what you're going to do. We're still going to start with the 3 months. So again, so we can see the overall scope of the files that we have, 535 files. Let's go back to that real quick. That 3-month search got us 535 entries. See that right here? That's a lot of files. I only have 100 to export. So I want to narrow that down even more. The best way to do that so that you're finding properties in the territories you want to market yourself to is by utilizing the zip code of deceased at the time of death. Again, because this is where the property is going to be, we want to start throwing zip codes at it. Okay. For instance, I had that 535 files. Now I'm only going to go for high dollar areas. 90210. Even if you're in Texas, you know 90210 is Beverly Hills. 91302, that's Bel Air. 90077, that's Calabasas. 90038, that's Hollywood. Okay, so I'm going into higher dollar areas, and I'm going to keep the same date range, the same courthouse, and I'm going to hit search again. And it's really going to narrow down that field a lot. Yeah, 4 entries. Okay, so we went from 533 to 4 exactly in the area that I want to market myself to anyway. Okay, and that's how we narrow it down. Let's open this back up again. We'll do the same 3-month date range. But now what the thing I'm going to show you is how to locate properties that are local to you where the petitioners are outside your state. And there is a formula for this. So if you're in Texas, you're going to do your state code for this. Okay, so the formula goes like that. It's your state code capitalized, comma, your state code lowercase, comma, your state spelled out, comma, capital N / capital A. Okay, and we'll stay with downtown Los Angeles. Okay, and we'll did we take the zip codes out? Yes, we did. We'll stay with downtown Los Angeles and see how many files this gets us. That brought us 103 entries. And I'm going to export these into an Excel sheet so we could see what that got us. That's not the same sheet. Why is that? Oh, because I did a lot of these before. I'm sorry. Let's re-export that again and bring to your attention real quick something that I failed to see here. You'll notice that these top lines are white and gray. Okay, those are new files for me. I've never exported them ever. You see all this blue and aqua down here? I've used this in a presentation already. I've already exported these before, so I don't have all of those. Okay, let's include those and now export into CSV. Now we're taking out 103 files. Okay, we'll open it in CSV. And here we go. Come on, CSV. There it is. Okay, now if we did this correctly, we should be finding properties coming out of the downtown Los Angeles courthouse where our petitioners are going to be outside of our state. Okay, let's get this open. Let's widen out these columns a little bit. Okay, and let's see. We got city of deceased. Look at this, all California. Oh, there's Idaho in there somewhere. Long Beach, Whittier, it's California, California, California. Let's pull up the petitioner's information. Here's our petitioner's information. Okay, let's see where his states are. Look at this. So properties in California, petitioners in Colorado, Pennsylvania, Milwaukee, Oklahoma, Idaho, Hawaii. Okay, and these are the ones that are just in our state. You know, you'll find some that are going to be outside the country. And those ones are even better. And you got phone numbers over here, folks. So we're able to call these people, tell them don't leave your state. Why don't you stay home? Allow me to work with your lawyer. All you'll have to do is collect an inheritance check. Now, Joven, Louise, Pearl, I guarantee you, if you called me with a proposition like that, I would definitely be apt to listen to what you had to say. Okay? So the last thing I want to go over today before I let you guys go is alerts. I had mentioned earlier that alerts allow you to work in real time. So in California, we close here at 5 p.m. If you're in Florida, if you're somewhere else that your time's above ours, I'm putting up files past the time you're already out of your office. So an alert allows you to work in real time where when somebody uploads a file for my courthouse or that out-of-state petitioners that we just went over, I get an email directly to my smartphone saying, hey, Marcel, we have new files to work at Probate Data. I go into that alert, I log into Probate Data, click that alert, and it brings me those files that I asked for. I'm working in real time outside the office, and I'm literally going to be the first one at that client's door. Okay, so the first alert I want you guys to set, after you click on alerts, you're going to click the blue button here that says new alert, and that'll bring you to what looks like our search engine, except there's no date range because we're going to be working in the now, so there is no date. It's going to be for right now. So the first thing you want to do is set an alert for your courthouse. Now, anytime one of my researchers uploads a file, you're going to get an email saying, hey, you have new files to work on. Log into Probate Data, click that alert. It'll bring up those files, and you're all ready to rock and roll. I did want to make mention that back here at the YouTube channel for Probate Data, we have a basic search 101 webinar that we had done a couple of weeks ago, a month ago to be exact. And this really goes more in depth on being able to use the zip codes, how to utilize that out-of-state petitioner, and a lot more into the basic search process of how to utilize Probate Data. So you have a fantastic resource here to fall back on. Apart from today's video, you have power gyms that go over mail merges and marketing. Back to basics as far as marketing 101, basic searches 101. So with the catalog that you have within the last month, you have no reason to be not prospecting to as many people as you possibly can. Okay, so I'm going to let you go so you can go and get prospecting. Happy prospecting, folks. We'll see you all next Thursday. Hold on a second.